Welcome to Hypno Life with Dr. William Deihl and Dr. Jennifer Couldry.
Welcome everybody back to Hypno Life. This is Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from the Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or go to dochypnosis.com. You're listening to 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona.
The Pulse.
Yes, and if you have questions today is going to be a heavy day. You
Yeah.
know, if you listened to or heard any of the promos we were talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about grief today. And grief, of course, is something that all of us experience throughout our lives. And I think very few of us are ever prepared for, or even could be prepared for, to be quite candid.
That's so true. I mean, it's something that sometimes it hits you different ways because things happen differently. Sometimes it's a sudden, sometimes it's a progressive, but each one hits you differently, and we're going to be talking about that today, and maybe give you some ideas how to get through it, but also to lend an ear to you guys to say, hey, we're here for you, and let's talk if you want to talk at Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center, or you can reach us.
Yeah, you can give us a call here at 602-277-KFNX. So 602-277-5369, or there's a toll-free number, and the toll-free number is 1-866-536-1100. So please feel free to give us a call if you'd like to share, some of your experiences, or just let us know what you're thinking. We're happy to talk to you. That's why we're here, and that's why we come every week. If you can't call, please feel free to drop us a line at our website, dochypnosis.com, or comment to one of our videos.
IMS on our one of our videos that we're doing right now. And thank you for reading the numbers. I cannot see the sign, and it was wonderful. You did that so great.
I was like, I took off my glasses. Choices were made.
One of the things I have to say that was fascinating to me when we were doing some research on this, because we both have gone through some grief, but the grief activates the physical pain centers in your body. So it literally lights up your whole system.
Yes, everything.
And as a kid, I went through a lot of different things, loss of pets, but really the first time that grief hit me, it was the loss of my grandfather.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a tremendous shift, because my grandfather was such a big part of my life. They always compared me to my grandfather.
Aww.
He was a doctor. I was fascinated in health at that period of time, and it really made an interesting shift in my life. But it's the first experience I had, but sometimes people don't understand what you are going through. They don't understand how grief hits them because they're grieving themselves. So,
Yes.
If anything, one good message I think we need to just put out there, and there's a lot of good messages that we're going to be sharing. Understand the person that's going through that grief is going through grief a different way.
Yes, and that everyone's journey, everyone's grief process, like you mentioned, it's deeply personal, and it's also deeply valid. There's no competition, right? Even though sometimes people, I think, in the midst of their own grief may feel the need to try to make it more like I'm hurting more, or you don't understand because, they were my mother, or, you can't feel the same way I feel because your relationship with them was not the same. And I think that's a defense mechanism, for the amount of
100%.
pain that person is feeling. I don't think people in the midst of that mean to necessarily demean your journey, but sometimes that can happen, that can come up.
And it's really a perspective thing. Each one of us are hit differently. I understood and understand for myself when really the not understanding your own feelings actually hit too.
Yeah.
And that hit me when my father passed away. At the funeral, I was reading, I was listening to music, I was trying to cry. I was trying to open up. I was numb.
Yeah.
And we go through some numbing situations called depersonalization.
Yes.
And that happens naturally. It's a protective mechanism that happens. So when my father passed away, he passed away on February 5th. I don't think I cried until June 6th. I think it was Father's Day, and I was at graveside.
Oh.
And I was by myself, and that's when I could let it go. That's when I could let it out. And so each of us go through certain things, and it's a natural process. So, we're going to be talking today of how to get through this natural process. And sometimes you do need to come to see some professionals.
Yes.
I just had a wonderful testimonial on my Google from Chris talking about how I helped her grieving of her father and to help her get past that.
Thank you for that, Chris.
But so thank you for doing that. But I also want to say, on a side note, because I don't want to forget, I want to do a shout out to a couple of our listeners. I had a great conversation to one of our listeners, and we talked about for 30 minutes or more, and it was just a wonderful conversation. I'm not going to say their name, but I'm doing a shout out to you. Thank you.
They know who you are.
they do. And I also had a couple of our listeners have come in and worked with us, and I want to say thank you for that, to putting our trust into us. It's our honor to be a part of your journey. And we're going to be doing that today, that journey of health that we want to share with you and go through.
I think you were talking too about like depersonalization or disassociation, right? Of feeling really numb like that. I think that's an aspect of grief or traumatic events that people don't necessarily talk about, but it's actually a very natural process, and it's your nervous system trying to protect you. Because whatever it is that has happened is so overwhelming emotionally and physically and neurologically, right, that your nervous system just kind of goes, okay, let's protect the whole here, let's dial this back a little bit, and when you're able to breathe again, maybe we can look at it again, but right now, we need you to continue breathing. I mean, I know that sounds awful, but it's true. There's so much. I'm sure some of our listeners have been through a lot in their lives as well.
Probably some deep stuff that we couldn't even understand. So.
Yeah.
But we're here for you.
Yeah, and we empathize.
100%.
It's always so hard, especially like you mentioned, just not knowing really where to put it, right? It's so much bigger than you. You don't really know where to put it or how to kind of how to reconcile it, right, with your reality. And on top of that, sometimes you aren't in the most supportive environment, and that really can exacerbate everything you're feeling.
No, 100, and sometimes it's a good thing that you need to maybe step out of your environment and get someplace else to just calm your nervous system down. And one of the healing things that we would suggest to just do little things to show that life continues. Sometimes it's as simple as making a bed or cleaning the dishes, but it's a little thing that you're moving forward. And also, I would say connection. Making sure you still have a level of connection. And I know right after a loss, people are almost in your face.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
They mean well. They really do. But yeah, it's like all of a sudden everyone's in your living room. And it's like, this is the moment where I feel like I need to breathe a little bit. And you guys are on top of me, and you're so numb and you don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, just like that, they're gone.
Yes, I know that was true for my father. He had almost 1,000 people at his funeral afterwards. Today, I think there's only 2 people that still talk to my mom or hang out with her. So we're going to go on a break shortly, and we're going to come back with more suggestions, more ideas. If you want to share or call us, please do here. This is Hypno Life. I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry with Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or dochypnosis.com. You're listening to us on 1100 KFNX, the pulse of Arizona. And we never got your name.
Oh, he's going to come in and talk to us. Yay!
Sorry, what's that?
We never got your name.
Chet Reynolds.
Chet.
Chet, thank you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
Chet
we
Reynolds.
feel
No,
bad
no,
because we were
we-
going to give
we
you a
feel
You
shout
can call
out.
me Knucklehead. You can call me whatever you want.
Hey,
It's fine.
that's my name. Don't take that.
Okay, Doofus.
Doofus?
Doofus.
No.
Very good. Well, very nice to formally meet you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chet Reynolds.
Chet. What
Okay.
a fun name.
It is a fun name.
All right, I'm coming back. Do you want to share something about, your losses and everything else? And, I know that's your escape. Your guys are seeing behind the scenes again. We're talking about our next segment.
Like what we should bring up. There's so, we have so much. I think it's difficult to distill it down where we can share enough that we feel like we've provided something worth watching, for one thing, right? And then also just express the complexity of something this large in an hour.
Yeah,
Not
not even an hour, because
like,
we
oh, yeah,
cut
'cause
back
there's a
on
few,
commercials and everything
There's
else.
breaks and things, and but so I do know I want to talk about these things here, like this, and then this one for sure. For some of the things.
Well,
So
I think we can weave
because
it
we're
in.
back from the break, and this is the biggest slot of time that we have. So yes, talk about personal first, and then maybe some of these.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
why I want to pull it in, because I think the personal kind of pulls them in, and then
'Cause it's
giving
real.
them solutions.
Yeah, I mean, this is
And
real too,
the
of
great
course.
thing is we can give them good ideas of saying, okay, take some time, do this, do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, and save time for the poem,
oh my God, yeah.
please. At the end, the last one, we need to do the poem.
Yeah, we will. I promise.
Okay. I found this really great poem I want
Oh
to
my
share.
God,
so
the
I'm
poem
telling
is
him,
so fantastic,
save
guys.
room for this poem at the
Stick
end.
around for the whole hour.
Yeah. If you miss it, just in case, the poem is called "The Ship," and it's by Bishop Charles Harry Brent. Anyway, it's really cool. So I'm
It's very
looking
beautiful.
forward to sharing that. There's a lot of beautiful things out there. There's a lot of beauty. That's another thing too that we could talk about. And for the folks that are watching right now, another way I think that people can express what they are experiencing is through art, through the creation of something.
The art, use that, and
Music,
because you talk
dance.
about the building,
Painting.
no, the building of the coffins.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's so cool.
Okay,
They're coming.
we're coming back. Do.
And
So do you want me to start this? Or you start this. You start first,
I'll
personal,
start.
and then we'll.
Yeah,
leave.
we'll
Okay.
do the intros.
You let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're on it. Trying to be good colleagues. Oh, yay! I'm hearing our music, so. Hello.
We are back. This is Hypno Life. I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or dochypnosis.com. You're listening to us on 1100 KFNX, the pulse of Arizona. I just want to say, I know that this is a heavy topic.
It is.
It's not, and I don't know if you guys heard me, I started getting emotional during this last session, and I have a way to kind of block myself off, but it is something because you kind of relive some of those feelings, and that's what grieving is. You cannot put a time limit on grieving.
No, and you shouldn't have to, okay? Again, grief is very personal, and everyone's experience is different, and everyone's experience is valid. So, yeah, can we just please, as a society of human beings,
Oh my
can we
God.
please stop saying to somebody, oh, it's been a year, or oh, it's been 5 years. It's like, you don't know. You don't know. You're not that person. You're not living that reality. Now, should it stop you from living? No, of course not. You should still go out and experience the things that make life beautiful.
And I would say that would be a tribute to the ones that you lost, because they would
Yes.
want that. They love you.
Oh my gosh, yes. They don't want you to, just, as my grandma would say, don't just mildew. You have to, you need to do something, right? Get out there and live a little bit. And I think that that's part of what we were saying in the ways that you can kind of continue to move past loss in that way. I could share personally.
Please do.
Oh, that's hard. Okay, that's okay. That's one of the things that people deal with grief, right? Even years later, it's still in you, right? It's still part of your psyche. We lost my father in 2020 to COVID.
There's your friend.
This is harder to talk about than I thought, but that's okay. We weren't able to go and see him because of all the lockdown and the restrictions, and he was also in a different state. So anyway, that was a very difficult time. But the reason that I share this with you is not for sympathy or any of that, but just to let you know that how we speak to ourselves can make a huge difference with your recovery from that loss. And for many months, like almost probably a year, I had developed this grief loop, this almost mantra that I didn't know I was kind of doing to myself. And I kept saying, I'm sorry, Daddy. Because, of course, I had a great deal of guilt.
And that's one of the things people go through is they're feeling the guilt or shame.
Yeah, and pain, right?
Oh my
because
God,
of
yes.
course that's someone you love. You don't want them to suffer, much less be in an environment where the people that love them can't be with them, right? So that was very difficult, of course. But then after a while, maybe a year or so, one day I just kind of stopped and thought to myself, I have to change this, you know. My dad wouldn't want that, right? He wouldn't want me to be constantly in pain for the rest of my life. I mean, he would want me to have a good life and be happy and, you know, do all the things that you want for the people you love. So I had to shift that mantra for myself from I'm sorry, Daddy, to I love you, Daddy. And that's what I kept saying to myself after a while, and I found that the need to say it, and I said it out loud, I said it inside, you know, but the need to say it gradually started to reduce a little bit. And that doesn't change how much I love my dad, of course, or how sorry I am for the way that things ended up, you know, for him, but it was incredibly cathartic to be able to shift that from regret and guilt to love and, you know, acceptance. I think that was how I was able to kind of heal a little bit.
I think that's a beautiful example of how to break a trauma loop, because we put ourselves into that loop of feeling and feeling and feeling, and we need to sometimes break us away. And I know that she didn't share, but she also lost her grandmother. And the great thing is she actually also shared a great story about her grandmother. And I think it's very important to share those wonderful stories. And you've shared some beautiful stories about your father being in your house and other things.
Man.
And I think it's one of those other things that you can do for you is a lot of people try to fight the grief.
Yeah.
Stop fighting it. It's grief.
Yeah.
Let it out.
Yeah.
Process it. Live those stories. That's part of what.
Oh yeah, he pointed to something on the paper here, and I appreciate that. He's like, oh, remember this thing?
Segue.
He's like, this thing you wanted to talk about? I'm like, thank you, buddy. Definitely. As far as clinical sound therapy goes, right, it's a nonverbal outlet for emotion. You can also encourage crying or sighing or vocalizing, right? There are many different cultures and religious ceremonies that involve a process of what's called keening. It's spelled with a K, K-E-E-N-I-N-G, if you want to look it up. It's just interesting to see different cultures and how they use the voice to be able to express something that is unexpressible, right? And that's the thing that I love about music in general, is where words fail, music is able to speak beyond what we could ever just bring into being. Music has a way to do that, and the voice in particular has a way to express emotion. It can translate grief into tone or sound, and you don't have to do a specific melody, you don't have to use words, it can just be a guttural, you know, whatever you need to let out there is a process for that, and it's called caning, and it can be very healing, and it can be beautiful too.
And we're giving ideas of ways we can help. Even, if someone comes to the office because maybe they are stuck in a trauma loop, maybe they have a guilt and they need to move forward. We work into settling that nervous system down. We also want to help access the subconscious mind safely, and to say life goes on, and also help process unresolved emotional links. I know that I have a family member that still 20 years later still is connected and stuck. I always called it being stuck. And they never really processed the loss that they went through and what really happened. So they have that guilt, that regret, that attachment pain. So we actually work them through that, and in a very healthy, fast way sometimes.
Yeah, it can be. And I think also a thing to point out is that grief stays in the body, which is why when you experience loss like that, it affects your nervous system, right, in a profound way. But that's why sometimes people, they mention symptoms of like feeling like there's something sitting on their chest, or their chest feels heavy or tight, right, or their throat feels constricted, or they can't voice what they're feeling. Those are all normal and natural things that you were experiencing because of the loss.
100%. And there's actually a little technique that you can do, is actually close your eyes when that feeling comes up. Take a deep breath in, let it out, just kind of let yourself center yourself a little bit. And then all you want to do is see if you can make that, maybe your throat's tight, maybe your chest feels heavy. Just lighten it or loosen it by 10%. You're not looking to do anything more than just 10%, because grief is there. You can't get rid of it, but you can learn how to process it. We're retraining the mind how to do that, so life continues.
Definitely. I know that we're getting a little bit close to a break, but when we come back, I would love if we have time to be able to talk to you guys about a couple of other cultures and the way that they handle grief and the grieving process.
We also have a poem that you want to read too.
Yeah, I'd love to read this poem as well. I mentioned it's called The Ship, so if we don't get to it, make sure you look it up. It's called The Ship by Bishop Charles Henry Brent. One of the practices I'd like to talk about is a Lakota Sioux stone water ceremony, and the other one is the Ghana Akan tradition of fantasy coffins.
Yeah, the Sioux tradition is, I find, fascinating, and it's going to be fun. But realize that we're talking about grief, and I think some people are thinking of a death of a loved one, but it also could be the loss of identity, loss of health, loss of purpose,
Or
grief,
friendships, partners, relationships,
or going through a constant level of grief that you get stuck into. And I want to make sure that we talk about that too. I have a personal experience. We'll share that after the break. I know the break is coming up. This is Hypno Life. I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or dochypnosis.com. You are listening to us on 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona. I'm looking forward to hearing you guys. Come on back. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to touch you, but I said that might break you down.
Oh, it's so kind. No, I love you. Thank you.
So I could see the emotions come up.
I know, I was trying. I didn't realize. I was like, oh, that's a lot harder to.
Yeah.
Even now, even 6 years later.
Yeah, it still hits you.
It's hard to speak about something that.
Raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's raw.
It is. Yeah.
So I think I want to talk about extended grief, meaning like the loss, like what I'm going through with my mom.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that because people are going through that.
Yeah.
They don't understand. That's a daily loss. You see the person. I'm getting teary-eyed.
I know. It's hard. It is.
So it's okay. Whew. So it's going to be good, guys. And I keep on bringing in tips throughout.
That's fine.
I think
I
that's
liked it.
I
No,
like
that's
that.
great.
I think
Yeah.
that's good. So hey, we're finding this. Whew.
That's the real challenge, guys, is that there's so much information we want to share. Man, I encourage you to take a look at many of the different cultures and rituals and ceremonies for grief and the grieving process. There's some really beautiful ways that different cultures have found to honor your lost loved one or that loss.
What they call it. Oh my goodness. And well, we're going to, I know that this is a lull because we just want to make sure we talk about everything we want to talk about and we don't miss out on anything. You know, people get stuck in grief. We need to touch about that too. That's we did talk about that because I shared that about a family member.
Sharing about sometimes people are afraid to let go of their pain because they feel like they aren't. That's the only way they know how to hold on to that person.
Yeah, that's true.
That's hard.
Yeah. Where is it? We're still looking for that thing I wanted.
What thing?
It was a term, and I just want to make sure I get the term correctly.
Sorry, I don't know what.
Yeah, no, I'm. My wife has taught me be precise.
You poor thing. I know. I'm always like, "What's the source for that?" He's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not sure." Like, don't state it unless you have the source. That's pretty funny, actually.
All right, there we are.
You want to start it so you know where it is?
No.
I took my pen.
What are you writing there? She's writing cool stuff. There's some stuff that she's going to be sharing about this Dakota. It's freaking amazing. So it's going to come up probably during this or after the next break. We're going to find out.
Yeah, good stuff. Sweetness. He's like, it's wrap it up. He's saying this one.
Mm-hmm. Usually it's at the weather after the break.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he went, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cough on you.
It's okay. You can see my paperclip, like,
Yeah.
because I just got
Doodle.
nervous.
This is Hypno Life. That's it. We're welcome back to Hypno Life. Either way, I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or go to dochypnosis.com. You're listening to us on 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona. I just want to, just before the break, we were talking about the people can actually get stuck, who is still alive, stuck grieving someone that is still alive or still going through something. A couple of divorce,
Yes.
personal change, maybe even moving on from careers and not knowing what your identity is. And that's something we talked about last week.
With retirement and identity, definitely.
Yeah, but for myself, I know that I go through a grieving process, and it's very, very strange. Almost, I can tell you the days: Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays.
Oh.
Those are the days I talk to my mom. My mom is actually has Alzheimer's, and it's different when you are reminded that that person is losing their memories, losing their identities, losing who they are, and you see them slipping away. And it is, I'm getting a little teary-eyed here. It's really strange to go through that grieving process on a constant basis,
Yeah.
where you see that person. For instance, I told my wife that my mom used to do glass blowing.
Oh, yeah.
And she used to love it. She used to make these little piggy figurines,
Little teddy bears and
little
things.
teddy bears. And then we called and talked to her. She could not remember.
Yeah.
And for me, that's also a loss of a strange, almost what's called gaslighting. And actually, we'll be talking about gaslighting next week, and toxic relationships.
Yeah.
But it because all of a sudden you're like, didn't she do that?
Yeah, did she do that? I thought she did.
And there's a
that
sense,
has to feel like you're almost losing your childhood a little bit too.
just a little bit at a time. So realize that there's certain things that you can do to help take those feelings. One is to actually name the feelings that you're feeling. It actually shifts you from an emotional loop to a logical loop of saying, well, I'm having anxiety, I'm sad, I'm hurting. And it puts your mind in a different processing. It lets that amygdala kick in, and it gets you out of that reptilian brain of yours, and helps you start processing. And processing is very important. I know there's a couple of different ways that people over the centuries, over the thousands of years, have done processing, and holy crap, they're freaking great.
Yeah, they're amazing ways of handling grief and moving through the emotional weight of it. One of the, do you want me to? Yeah.
Please.
Okay. I figured he was like, talk about that now. One of the most beautiful things that I found personally through looking through some research, and there's many here. I've got probably a list of over 20 different ones. We're not going to have time to talk about all of them today. But one that I wanted to touch on is the Lakota Sioux. It's called a stone to water ceremony. I think they call it sky stones.
Yeah, I think they call it sky stones.
I apologize if I get that wrong, but I believe that's what it's called. But the premise of it, and please understand that I'm taking this beautiful tradition and distilling it down to a sound bite here. There's a lot more there. But the premise of it is that you take all of your grief and your pain and your emotions and your memories, and you put them into stones, and then you take the stone and you speak out loud to the water the pain, the sorrow that you have, and you give the stone to the water, right? Which symbolizes an act of letting go, because water represents life and movement, so it's a natural flow of existence. So what it's trying to say again is that the weight of grief, it could be carried for a moment, but it shouldn't be held. It shouldn't weigh you down. You can place it in the water, right, and let it go. And then they usually keep one stone for themselves as a remembrance. So another thing that's really amazing about this particular practice is that there's a Dr. Maria Yellowhorse Braveheart who did some research in 1998. She did a scientific study with participants.
Yeah, this is amazing.
This part's wild. There were several different participants. I think it was over 45, if not more. I'm not sure exactly on the number, but you can look that up too. But the study findings found that people that were experiencing sadness, at the beginning of the study, it was 66.7%. After the process of doing this ceremony and some of the other things that they looked at, that was lowered to 18.2%. Okay,
That's a huge drop.
That's huge, from 66 to 18, right? And grief went from 54% to 27. There's more statistics
There was
here.
one that went from a certain number to 0.
Yeah, this
Which
one
was
is
that?
huge. This one is huge. This was guilt. Guilt went from 60.6% to 0%. Okay, so not only did these people that were in this study and participating in this ritual, not only did they experience these shifts, but 6 weeks later, 89% of the participants in the study reported that the intervention was helpful for resolving historical trauma.
And that's fantastic. And realize that this was an ancient custom. It disappeared for a while. It's now back. People are starting to do it, and it kind of puts it in several different ways. As I said, voicing, naming the problem, putting it out there, letting it go can be very powerful. Remembering what's going on in the individuals. These are, things that I think in our culture we kind of block. We have to
I agree.
suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up, Uber, yeah.
So
Well,
we,
here, and another thing too here, not to interrupt you,
Please.
that's incredibly important about this too, is that it externalizes the emotional pain. So it creates a physical release because you are taking it, you are putting it into the stone, right? So your nervous system is completing the signal, right? So it helps you move from holding it to allowing it to flow. And I just thought that was just incredibly beautiful and powerful, very powerful. Do we have time for one more?
yeah, do one more.
Okay, one more is the Ghana Akan tradition. I hope I'm saying that right. Akan or
You're saying it better than I could.
and it's a ceremony. It's called fantasy coffins, and you should look this up because some of these are amazing.
You were saying during the break, artwork and getting some
Yes,
artistic.
art, yeah.
But I'll let you get back to
no,
that.
you're
Sorry.
right. No, you're right. This ties into that, right? Art and the act of creating something can help release some of those emotions too. And okay, not everybody has to be Picasso, so don't worry about it. Just make it. It's fine. Even if you don't show it to anybody, who cares? The art of creating it and releasing it and putting it into paint or whatever you do, that is cathartic and helpful all by itself. But in this tradition in Ghana, they create these larger-than-life coffins, and if you take a look at some of these online,
Oh, they're so cool.
It's so neat. There was one that was like a giant narwhal. There was one that was a big fish.
I think there was one that was a Pokemon or something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
But the premise of that is to celebrate who that person was in life and what they loved and what they enjoyed.
And just doing that, that's once again, we're talking about remembering the person. And I think there was something you told me, I can't remember from what culture, but it said people live on in memories. And by remembering the person,
yes.
it helps you get past that grief.
Yeah,
So
in some other
voice it.
traditions. Yeah, in
Yes.
some other traditions, and some, I think some neo-pagan traditions as well, they say what is remembered lives. And I think that's beautiful.
And I know some people actually say, well, I know the 5 stages of grief. And I'll be honest with you that a lot of people do not understand the 5 stages. They're explained incorrectly. They process. They say, oh, it's denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. Guess what? They don't follow an order.
No.
Guess what?
You can feel all of them all at once, or none of them.
They jump around. Guess what? And when you get to acceptance, it sometimes starts all over again.
Right.
It happens. That's what grief is. It's not just a simple linear thing.
Yeah.
But you could do what's called the 3 C's. You can choose, and choice is something we all have. We all can do.
In this regard, what would you be choosing?
Choosing to live your life and to remember, to let go. Not to let go, to cherish the memories.
Yeah, but maybe let go of the things that no longer serve you.
Next one is connect with others, talk, share, and communicate.
Yeah.
Really communicate with individuals of what's going on. And we're going to be talking about making sure communication, because a lot of people need to start communicating with their loved ones of what's going on in their life, what's happening, and what they need. And we're going to talk about that after the break.
Yeah, definitely.
And we also have a wonderful poem that
Yes.
Dr. Couldry will be sharing. This is Hypno Life. I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or go to dochypnosis.com. You're listening to us on 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona.
Oh, and so you guys know, we should
Yes.
say on the radio too, we have Chet in the booth being
Yeah,
awesome.
Chet is fantastic. He's
so
he's there.
nice. Consummate professional.
One of the things is that I think communications, we need to talk about, say what you need. Share what you need. If you need to talk, if you need to cry, you need some time to yourself, it's okay. Don't say, well, you need to go see people.
Oh, yeah,
Get
that,
out.
that and don't prescribe for someone else.
Yeah, don't prescribe for. But if you want to ask someone, she whacked me last week. I'm just giving her back. So I think if you have someone going through a process and you're saying, well, you need to get out, you need to do something, they're scared.
Yeah.
They have gone
There's a
through their
lot.
life
Just-
that they never done it before. We'll
Yeah.
reiterate this.
Yeah, it's even
Go with
important just to hold space for someone.
Yeah.
Tell them we can do whatever you want. We can do nothing. We can go to the mall. We can get coffee. You know, we can go drink champagne and have mimosas and talk about your grandpa. You know,
Amen to
whatever the person needs. Honestly. But yeah, don't be prescriptive. Let the person tell you, and if they can't tell you, that's okay. Be like, I'll just sit here with you if that's all right.
I think that's important as long as they have that.
Everybody needs it, even if you're not sure how to express it, or if you don't know what you need, that's okay too. That's a derpy.
1 minute.
It's derpy.
It's Durfee Law Group. It's not derpy.
Sorry, that's horrible.
Hey, they got a free commercial on our web.
Yeah, the importance of pronunciation, my friends.
Oh my
That's
God,
what-
yes. It's so important.
Wow.
Last segment.
Man, can I just say today went by so fast because
It's
there's
going-
so much we want to share.
But it's also,
That's
oh
okay,
my
though.
God,
A
what
lot
an
of
emotional
good.
roller coaster so far for
Yeah,
us.
a lot of good information I hope that you guys have found useful. Maybe I have to go to the fair. The fair is,
Oh,
the fair
the
is
fair is here.
We hear a commercial for the fair. I'm like, oh. I always wanted to go at night
Yeah.
because of the lights and everything.
Deep fried coffee. He just said they're wrapping up.
Oh,
shortly.
yeah.
So we're going back on the air.
We have this.
Yeah, we'll make sure of that. Welcome back. This is Hypno Life. I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or just go to dochypnosis.com. You're listening to us on 1100 KFNX, the Pulse of Arizona. And we're talking about grief today. And some of us might be feeling some emotional numbness. They guilt for moving forward. Feeling like healing is betrayal.
Yes, like
Yeah.
you need to hold on to all of the pain of it because if you let that go, then you're letting that person go. That's not true.
That's not true. And you might have intrusive memories.
Yeah.
That's where we
Oh,
come
that's
in.
normal too.
We can help you get past those.
Yeah.
Not get rid of those.
No.
But help you process them so they're in a healthy way, and you can do it. And how can you do it? One of the last things I said before the break was communicate. It's if you're going through a grieving process, take the time to communicate what your needs are.
Yes.
Take the time to share. Those individuals that truly love you are there to be a sounding board for you,
Yeah.
to make space for you, to care for you. If not, there's professionals out there that are there for you.
We can be there for you too, but I mean, we even mentioned too, you said, don't be prescriptive.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
God,
that's
yes.
the truth of it. Don't tell somebody else what they need to be doing. You don't know. You're not living in their emotional reality or their emotional truth or really know anything about their journey. Just be there for someone. And a lot of times people bother you. I mean, they mean well, but they bug you. What do you want? What do you need? What can I do? Da da da. It's like, okay, at this moment, it is, I hate to say it, but it's not about you. It's about that person that's going through it. So just try to be there. Hold space for them. If they don't know what they need, that's fine. They don't have to.
And we made suggestions today to actually get out and do something for us caregivers, the people that are out there, our loved ones that are going through these hard times, realize that they're scared. They're going through maybe a loss of a partner that they've been with 4, 5, 10, 20, 50 years.
Right.
And them going out and hanging out with new people, scary as hell.
Well, that and the mind remembers connection. So don't be so hard on yourself. If you all of a sudden go, oh, I should call her. I wonder how she's doing.
Oh,
and then you remember, oh God, she's not here. It's like, well, that's okay. That's natural and that's normal for your mind to do that pattern. So don't be so hard on yourself when that happens. Instead, think, I love you and I miss you too.
So just make sure you're there for that person. Go out with them the very first couple of times. Do some stuff with them. It's part of the process to help individuals start to move on. Realize when people come to our wellness center, we actually work with them, and one box doesn't fit every person.
Of course not.
And sometimes it's not a box. Maybe it's a cube. Maybe it's a circle. Maybe it's a
dodecahedron.
well, thank you. I couldn't think of something fun. That's fun. Maybe you want. We actually will change for each person that comes on in, because their problems are their problems. It's not the world's problems. It's theirs. So we need to kind of change ourselves to help them, motivate them, to get them where they go.
That we're listening, right? We're not there, we're not there to judge you. We're not there to, tell you, oh, well, that was a bad choice. That's not why we're there. We're there so that we can help you move toward the life or the goal or whatever it is that you are aiming for. We're there to help you move toward that direction. That's why we're there.
And I know that we want to finish up with a poem, but I don't know how long it's going to take, and we never timed it. So let's do the poem.
Can I do it? Okay.
And just share it with
Okay.
everybody.
This poem is called The Ship by Bishop Charles Henry Brent.
It's powerful.
It's powerful. The ship. I'm standing on the seashore. A ship sails and spreads her white sails to the morning breeze and starts for the ocean. She is an object of beauty, and I stand watching her till at last she fades on the horizon, and someone at my side says, she is gone. Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. She is just as large in the masts, hull, and spars as she was when I saw her, and just as able to bear her load of living freight to its destination. The diminished size and total loss of sight is in me, not in her. And just at the moment when someone at my side says, she is gone, there are others who are watching her coming. And other voices take up a glad shout, there she comes. And that is dying.
That's actually got me teary-eyed on that. It's a powerful piece, because it kind of says that those individuals that are moving on, and we need to kind of embrace it too, and welcome certain things into our lives that are going to be new. And it's really an adventure that we're all going on.
And I think this is beautiful too, because it calls, to me at least, the phrase that most people say about people that are no longer here. I often hear them say, oh, he was larger than life, or she was larger than life. And it's like, well, yes. And then in the same breath, can we just say, they are larger than death?
Yes, because we need to make sure those individuals that have come and passed, we need to keep them in our memories, keep them in a state of sharing, because that's actually a part of the healing process that a lot of people are missing out on. There's several things that you can do, and one of them is actually sharing and helping you get past that grief by sharing the stories, letting people start letting them start hearing what's going through your mind, but also the stories of oh my God, I remember my father riding a bull or whatever. I don't know why I said bull,
Something
but
wonderful. Did your dad ever ride a bull?
well, he was on a bull, but it was more of a.
That's incredible.
It was called Frosty, and it was a very tame bull.
But he was on one. I mean, that's amazing.
I think it was a car dealership's bull.
Oh my God, that's
that he was on
that
top
Earnhardt
of.
guy.
Or that's it. I couldn't think of the Earnhardt bull, but it was Frosty, and he got a chance to get on the back of it.
I love
So
it.
that was like, all right. I have a
See,
picture of it someplace. So I'll have
that's
to
beautiful
share it
too.
to you.
And that ties into a truth that transformation is possible, right? Grief changes form over time. It can move from pain into meaning or purpose, or an even deeper connection with those who've gone before us. When I think of my grandmother, I smile. I do. I smile. I miss her dearly. I do. She was an amazing force of nature, a little tiny woman, like maybe 5'5". In high school, I would give her a hug, and I would pick her up. And she would get so mad at me.
I also suggest if you have gone through a loss, check out the book Signs.
Oh, yes, by Tara Swart. It's an incredible book. She talks about her husband, Robin, and, she went through a profound loss, losing her husband to, I think it was cancer.
Yeah.
But what's beautiful about the story, of course, is her resilience and the way that she is able to find ways to connect with Robin even now.
In Signs, I know you had one that kept on popping up on your car.
I did.
From your sister.
Yeah, my sister sent me a text message. It was one of the last text messages that she sent me before she passed. And it was just a funny little text message. It was like, hello, can't wait to see you tomorrow, tee-hee, smiley, happy face. And it was stuck in my car for, it kept playing randomly. And it would just pop up out of the blue. You couldn't count on, there wasn't a pattern that was happening on a regular basis. Okay, it happens every day at noon or something like that. Yeah, it would just come up randomly, and every time it would make me smile, and I'd be like, I love you too, Nay. I miss you too.
So look for those signs too, because they can be healing. I know that we actually helped out a family member in a completely new message that never showed up on her
Oh my
car.
goodness, yeah.
Showed up.
Yeah,
And I'm getting chills just talking about
Yeah,
it
I
right
know,
now
yeah.
because it applied to what was going on.
It was chill-inducing and beautiful and lovely because we were helping her daughter. And so we were waiting at a restaurant for her daughter and your kids to come, and we were going to have dinner. And then on the car came up that message.
Well, you're listening to Hypno Life. I'm Dr. William Deihl.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Couldry from Doc Hypnosis Wellness Center. You can reach us at 602-314-1907.
Or go to dochypnosis.com. You're listening to us on 1100 KFNX, the pulse of Arizona. And I know next week we're going to talk about toxic relationships.
Thank you for being here with us.